Good morning and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. And as always, we're back with another massive show to bring you guys this morning. But before we jump into that, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe bottom right hand corner if this is your first time watching, and let's get straight on into the show. So on the show this morning, we're going to be previewing the Manchester United versus Manchester City. It's the derby tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. kickoff at Old Trafford. It's the big one. It's the most important game of the season. And we're going to bring you all of the injury news. We're going to give you our score predictions. We're going to obviously give you our predicted lineup and all the rest of it. As always, get involved in the comment section. Get involved in the live chat. Let me know your thoughts on everything we discuss on today's show. So let's start off with the injury news because I think that's a good place to start. So we can confirm that CASEMIRO was back in training yesterday. Erik ten Hag obviously did his pre-match press conference yesterday at Carrington, and he confirmed that CASEMIRO and Aaron Wan-Bissaka are back in first team training. So that's really, really positive. Now, we don't expect Aaron Wan-Bissaka to be available for the game tomorrow because I think yesterday was his first full training session back, obviously after being injured for a couple of months. But CASEMIRO should be available for this game tomorrow. So that's very, very positive because CASEMIRO is a big game player. He really, really is. Obviously, he's won... How many Champions Leagues has CASEMIRO won? Let me have a look for you quickly. A lot is the simple answer. He has won 5 Champions Leagues. He's won the Club World Cup 3 times. You get where I'm going with this. CASEMIRO is a big game player. A big, big game player, and we desperately need him tomorrow, I think. Now, let's run through the team news. Let's run through what I think the predicted lineup's going to be. Obviously, as always, I want you guys to give me your thoughts. I want you to let me know what your predicted lineup is and all the rest of it. But let's start off at the back. So obviously, Onana in goal. I think that's maybe a pretty obvious one, to be honest. Onana is the goalkeeper. Happy with that. I think he did really well, obviously, against Copenhagen. Made a really big save earlier on in the match, and then obviously saved the penalty, which won us the game. So Onana gets the nod for me. No questions asked. Then we've got Reguilon at left back, which is good. I think it's important to actually have a left back playing at left back. So that's really, really positive. We've got Maguire and Varane. And you know what? Maguire is in probably the best form he's been in the last couple of years. Let's hope that he can carry this over into the derby, and let's hope that he has a really, really good game. I think him up against Haaland, as long as he doesn't, let him get behind him, I think he'll do okay. You know, Harry Maguire's tall, he's physical, he's strong. I think he'll be able to control Haaland physically, but it's just whether Harry Maguire, one lapse of concentration and Haaland will be in behind him. And there's no way that Maguire's catching Haaland. Let's be very clear about that. So as long as he keeps him goal side the whole match, I think he'll do okay. Also then gone with Varane at centre-back again. I think Varane, when he's available and fit, I think he's world-class. So Varane, for me, is the centre-back partnership. Maguire and Varane. No issues with that. Diogo Dalot at right back. Obviously, there isn't really any other options than Dalot. Hopefully Dalot has a good game. I think he's been okay this season. I'm still not entirely sure about Dalot. I think he's one of those players that still has a lot of improving to do. He's still quite young. These are the games where we'll really be able to tell whether Dalot's good enough to be a Manchester United player. 24 years of age now. Yes, that's still young, but these are the big moments, okay? If he can go and put in a good performance against Man City, I think that will really, really help build his confidence for the coming rest of the season. And then we've gone for it. So the formation we've picked is a 4-2-3-1. We've gone with Amrabat and CASEMIRO as the two holding midfielders. Now, I know that's a little bit defensive, but I think against Man City, we're going to be pretty much parking the bus, aren't we, realistically? We're going to be hitting them on the counter-attack, let's be very, very clear. And I think that Amrabat and CASEMIRO as a midfield two, I think that's really, really solid, and I'm happy with that. We haven't seen that partnership yet for a full 90 minutes, so hopefully CASEMIRO is able to start the game, and hopefully those two play together and have a good match. Now, what I quite like about this is that it should allow CASEMIRO to move forward a little bit as well, because you know what's crazy, right? CASEMIRO is our leading goal scorer in all competitions. He's got 4 goals, which is absolutely mad when you actually think about it. So hopefully, Amrabat being there doing the defensive work will allow CASEMIRO to be able to push forward. So that's really, really positive. Really excited to see that. Moving out into the more attacking areas, I've gone with Rashford on the left. Now, I know some people will say, bench Rashford, he gets played too much and all the rest of it. I get that, but this is going to be very much a game where we're parking the bus and hitting on the counter attack. And there's no better footballer, in the Premier League or whatever than Rashford for counter-attacking football. That was where Rashford got all his goals last season. That was when he was, doing well under Ollie, was when we were playing counter-attacking football. Bruno Fernandes hitting the ball long, Rashford running onto it and then getting goals. That's how we're going to attack tomorrow, I think. So I think Rashford obviously has to play because he is our fastest, best player for counter-attacking football. Then I've gone with Bruno Fernandes as the centre attacking midfielder. Again, I don't really think there's any question marks about that one. Who else are you really going to play? Are you going to play Hannibal in the Manchester derby? Probably not. I think maybe that's a little bit too soon for him. And then I've gone for a little bit of a controversial one here. I've gone for Mason Mount as the right winger. I think Mason Mount deserves a chance. We've spent, how much have we spent on him? Was it £60 million? We've spent a ridiculous amount of money on Mason Mount, right? He's got to get some game time. He can't just be sat on the bench. I think it's 2 games in a row now that he's been on the bench from the start. Why have we bought him if we're not going to play him? I don't understand. Let me just double check. Yeah, so obviously he didn't start against Copenhagen. Anthony started. I think he should have started that match. He didn't start against Sheffield United either. So that's 2 games in a row. And did he start against Brentford? Let's have a look. Yeah, he started against Brentford. So his last start was in the Premier League on the 7th of October. So it's been nearly 21. It's been 3 weeks since Mason Mount played from the beginning for Manchester United. Obviously, I know there's been the international break, but he hasn't played for 3 weeks now. That is a concern. Obviously, he didn't go to England. Was he in the England squad? I can't remember if he was in the England squad. Anyway, Mason Mount needs to play for me. I think if you spend all this money on him, yes, I know we spent loads of money on Anthony as well, but the whole point of having a squad is that you rotate, and I don't think that we do rotate that much. So for me, he definitely needs to be part of that. Yeah, he wasn't in the England squad as far as I can see. Yeah, he wasn't. So in the last set of England fixtures, he wasn't called up for that either. So he hasn't played football for a while. I definitely don't think Scott McTominay should play. I think going forward, he offers something, but defensively, McTominay offers nothing. And this is going to be a game where the game is going to be won in that midfield. Playing McTominay is like playing with 10 men, in my opinion. It's completely pointless. So for me, definitely has to be Amrabat and Casemiro in that CDM role. And then obviously as the striker, it's got to be Rasmus Højlund, doesn't it? Maybe you could say Anthony Martial. Maybe you play somebody as a false 9, but for me, it has to be Rasmus Højlund. It has to be. And he needs to have a big game, I've been very, very happy with what I've seen of Rasmus Højlund so far. I think his hold-up play is very good. I think he's very physical. He's fast. He's strong. But we do need to see some goals in the Premier League from him. He hasn't scored a goal yet in the Premier League. Obviously, he scored, I think, is it 3 goals in the Champions League? So he's doing okay, goal-wise. I think it's probably the amount of goals people would have expected for me personally. I think I said 15 goals in all competitions was my, my expectation for him this season. He's got 3 goals so far in 10 matches, which is, when you look at it like that, it's not amazing, is it? 1 goal every 3 matches. But I think for someone of his age, he's only just turned 20. He's still very, very young. We have to be patient with him. And I think that the goals will start coming. It might be, hopefully tomorrow is the day where he gets his first Premier League goal ultimately. Hopefully we go in there and hopefully we beat them comfortably. Comfortably maybe isn't the right word actually. But let me know what you guys' score predictions are. Al says, do you think we're going to park the bus and play for a draw? I don't think we'll play for a draw. I think we'll park the bus and try and hit him on the counter-attack. That's my prediction. But yeah, this is the part of the show where obviously we do our score predictions. So everybody please get your score predictions in the live chat and in the comment section and let me know who you think is going to score. I'm going with 2-1 Manchester United. I think Man City will score the first goal, and then I think we'll get them on the break, and then I think we're going to get a winner. I think we're going to win. I do. I know people are thinking you're crazy, but I just have this feeling we're going to win. It's at Manchester United. It's at Old Trafford, and I think that this is one of those games where they'll be the better team. They'll attack us. They'll have lots of chances, but we'll get them on the counter-attack and get a dodgy goal. I just have this feeling it's going to happen. We've seen it happen many, many times over the years in the Manchester derbies where City are comfortably the better team. They'll probably have 60-70% possession, but Bruno will play a ball over the top to Rashford and we'll get a goal. And I think that's what's going to happen tomorrow. Obviously, the game is 3:30 kickoff. Sanjay says he thinks it's going to be 3-1. Somebody else says, I hope it will be a good game. I don't think it will be a good game as such. I think we'll be literally under pressure the whole match, and I think that it won't be a particularly pleasant watch, but I think we will win. Milis says City will win 3-1. Fair enough. Barry says 2-2. Banil says 1-1. I mean, I would take a draw 100%. I would 100% take a draw, but I genuinely think we can win this game, and I think it's all about game management. The thing with Pep Guardiola is, right, he's not going to change the way he plays, ever. He always plays the same style of football. And I think that, Erik ten Hag has been quite good at adapting and changing things up and, almost letting his ego go and just playing based on what he thinks his players are going to be best at. And I think tomorrow he'll do that. He'll tell them to park the bus, get the ball to Bruno, pass the ball long, over the top to Rashford, and then hopefully we get them on the counter-attack. That's my prediction anyway. But I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined me on the show this morning. Please do make sure to smash a like on the video before you go. Please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, if this is your first time watching. This has been Daily Red Devil. Have a lovely day, everybody, and I'll speak to you all a little bit later.